Welcome to our Tableau Conference special, Preppin Data Edition. So our first part of this challenge is the beginner level, so it's to create output 1. So we're trying to work out who it is, who it could be, narrow down the search of who it could be that our boss wants us to talk to. So if we take a look at the data that we have in order to do that, then we have a list of session numbers and their descriptions, and we can see that this is formatted as the speaker's name, a colon, and then the actual description of the presentation. So we're going to first of all focus on splitting this out into speaker name and description, so we can use the split functionality in Tableau Prep. So if we go to the More Options menu, then the fourth option down is Split Values. And we can choose to use a custom split with a colon and just make sure that we split off all fields, and that will give us the speaker names and the descriptions. So that's what I've done in this step here. It generates these calculations that are underneath that we don't even have to write ourselves, so this is what's going on in the background. So that's a great functionality of Tableau Prep there. Okay, so we go ahead and apply these changes. I removed the original field as well because we no longer need it, because we've split out the information into our two other fields, and I just did a little bit of renaming of fields as well. So now we just have the name and the description. I also got rid of the session number at this point because it wasn't actually going to help us with this challenge. Now our next challenge is to turn this name field that we have into initials. So for example, the top one, Andy Pick, we just want it to be AP. So my way of doing this is using very similar logic to what we've already done, and we're going to split using the space this time, because everyone has just first name, last name. That's going to give us the first name in one field and the last name in another. So that's what I've gone ahead and done in much the same way as before. So it's got up to this point, it's very similar to what we just did in the previous step. So I've got the first name and the second name here in these two fields. I get rid of this one where they're the full name, and then I can write a calculated field so that I can just get the first letter of each of these fields. So I'm using a left calculation, so taking the first value from the first name, so that'll give me the capital A, and then I'm adding that to the first letter of the second name to give me those initials. Okay, and then I'm just getting rid of the other fields that we don't need, so now I just have the speaker initials and the description there. Our next step is that we need to categorize these descriptions. So categorize these talks into 4 different subject areas, either prep, server, community, or desktop. So this is done with a calculated field. So it's basically using an if statement. So if our description contains the word prep, then that should be categorized as prep, and so on and so forth. Else if is the important thing here to help us keep nesting in different if statements in order to categorize our data. One thing to note as well is that actually these are all written in lowercase, so the prep, server, desktop, community for the contained statement, and that's because I made the description be all lowercase first of all. So whether it's written as in title case or in all caps, if we make it all lowercase first, then that'll work. And again, that's by using the clean functionality in Tableau Prep and just making all of our field lowercase. It's quite fun to look at the calculation that gets written there as well, lower description. Okay, so I did that there, and now we've got this grouping field for our subjects. But I'm not going to get rid of my description just yet because I'll still need it to work out if they're talking about deduplication. So I'm going to create this deduplication flag, and that is another calculated field, and that is using the contains function again. So just keep it on using those skills that we've already built up in this challenge already. So we're checking if our description contains the word deduplication. We get them a true, false returning for that. And then we're just going to click on the true and say keep only these values, and it will filter to the 3 rows that we're looking for in the output. And then I can just get rid of the description field and I have my output. Okay, so that's our step 1 done of this Tableau Conference special Preppin Data. I'll now move on to the intermediate level in another video. So thank you for watching.